As a man who drives for a living, basically I can sympathise with this guy, but I have no idea what he was going through in some ways, because these van drivers are absolutely worked to death. And that was a phrase that we used to say, but this one actually was. Now, we'll get into it in a second, but I've done Class 1 work, I've done Class 2 work, and I've also done 7.5. Now, when we were doing home deliveries for an electrical supplier, we'd be doing everything from 20, 30 deliveries a day with installations, and you had to take their old stuff away and get the new stuff in there and unbox it, and you'd have to find your way around the route, hopefully not bump into traffic, and we could have up to 15-hour days. It was horrendous. But we would never get through the level of work or the level of drops that these poor sods do. Some of them can do anything from 50 to 150 drops in the morning, and then they've got to go back through that route and then do the collections. No, thank you. Now, I noticed that when I worked for a company based in Bristol, a lot of the van drivers were Eastern European, and they worked the backside off them. It was horrible. And you could see they were running around in vehicles that weren't up to scratch. Some of them, not all of them. Some of their vehicles were fine. But you could see these blokes were rushed, hassled. Now, they've come from a country where they didn't have much, and the money they're getting over here is much better than they would be getting back there. So I suppose some of them thought it was all right. But when you actually think about it, no. You're taking years off your life when you're doing this. Whatever. Anyway, this driver, and the irony of this one is the actual news article has an advert for Black Friday deals above it. So, yeah, whether somebody was a sick sense of humour there or what, I don't know, or just didn't think about it. But it says, courier worked to death, found slumped at the wheel of van in run-up to Black Friday. Can you imagine what it must be like finding one of your co-workers? Well, anyway, the moniker Black Friday has taken a new and dark meaning after a delivery driver who had worked for 7 days straight was found dead at the wheel of his van. We'll read on. A delivery driver has died and was found slumped at the wheel of his van after working 7 days straight. Warren Norton, who was found by colleagues this morning after working all hours in the run-up to Black Friday. Now, God only knows what level of deliveries that he was put upon. And now, if he gets paid by the drop, which I believe they do, a lot of them, they make more money, but it isn't much. I mean, these guys are not working for enough money. That is to say that I believe that they should be rewarded more because they work so hard. And I mean, it is hard. They're out there from before light, I should say, and then all the way through the daylight hours and right round to the dark again. We got a lot of Eastern Europeans over here doing this because they just work and work and work and work and work. But it can't be good for their health. It says here, the 49-year-old was discovered unconscious at a DPD depot in Dartford, Kent, and was said to have worked up to 14 hours a day, there you go, I've not read this story before, you see, to get parcels to customers. Workmates reportedly knocked at the window of his Citroen van as they thought he was sleeping, but he did not respond. Fearing the worst, they were said to have smashed the window to open the door. The father of one, who reportedly had a 14-year-old daughter, then fell out of the van onto the floor. That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. A source to The Sun, Warren had been working all the hours under the sun recently to deliver as many parcels as he could. The managers tried to coax you into working more days and longer hours because they know we're self-employed. I've done a lot of self-employed work. Basically, it's your fault. You know, you'll work as many hours as you can. He's not under a taco, so he can just keep going and going and going. 7.5 ton Class 2 and Class 1 are under taco laws, so there is only so much you can do, but even then, it's horrendous. It said the warehouse floor must have been cleared of parcels at all costs, or must be cleared of parcels at all costs. Mr. Norton was said to have been starting each of his consecutive working days around 6 a.m. and sometimes working till 8 in the evening for about £120 a day pay. See what I mean? That bloke would have had the Oris flogged off him. But it's wrong. But this is the thing. We all want everything tomorrow. I'm as guilty as the next. I'll go on and see, can I get it here tomorrow? You don't think about the effort or the graft that goes into getting it there. Royal Mail being a massive setup, literally they have holding places and their vehicles run all the way through the night. And I'm told that they're going to try and start keeping up with this lot. But DPD, they're a 24-hour machine. I see them come in, they're big vehicles, and they unload them on the bays, and then they get chucked out to the vans. Now you get, there's literally, especially Christmas time, vans queuing up about half a mile to get into this place, and they're in and they're loaded in 2 seconds and gone. And what they do is they then drive up the road and then try and put the load into some sort of order so that they can be quicker when en route. These people have got to run from the van to where it is, get you to sign as quickly as possible, and get on to the next. Right? They've got to park sometimes quite a way away, or just dump it, hopefully, on double yellows and not get nicked. I would not give you tuppence for this job, and I admire anybody who does it. Seriously, you've got to have A, a lot of graft in you, and B, patience of a saint. But unfortunately, that man never made it home from work. So when you're ordering your parcels, have a little think about these poor sods that have got to deliver it, because it ain't no fun. And if it's around Christmas, think about giving them a Christmas tip, because, well, I just feel sorry for them. Anyway, I hope you're liking what we're doing at the moment. Like, share, subscribe. I'm not getting any traction with YouTube because I'm not of the right ilk. But never mind. There's lots of others that aren't either, so I'm not the only one. Anyway, I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.